What's up, guys? This is Kyle from Wax Museum. And as you can see here, I'm on the Panini website and I'm actually playing a YouTube trailer that they have there for the brand new Donruss Optic basketball. That's 2021-22. So that actually is out now. The first off the line version is, and those breaks have started to hit YouTube. So I figured I would do something very similar to what I did with Prism when it came out. I want to look at all of the breaks I can, which I've already done, and I want to show you some of the good, the bad, and the ugly that I've seen with this set so far. And just like last time, I made a Twitter thread that kind of goes through everything. So let's go ahead and jump right in here with an observation that I noticed, but also PacMan mentioned it on his video. So I do want to give him credit because I think his content is just good quality content. His breaks are realistic. So if you're familiar with breaking, though, you already know him. But he pulled several of these 75 years of the NBA inserts, and they're not terribly rare, but we also saw these in Prism. And the version that we saw in Prism had the Optic logo. Well, now here we're opening Optic, and that version has the Prism logo. So I thought that was interesting. It certainly seems like it was a mistake of some sort. You know, it doesn't ruin the product or anything like that, but still worth pointing out. Okay, so as we were going through here, I also watched a video from Hitman Rips, and he's got the back of the box here. I paused the video and took a screenshot of that. So thanks to him for that. But that'll give you kind of a look at all of the different parallels that you can find, at least in the first off the line. It's not going to list all the retail and all that stuff if there are any sort of retail exclusives, but that gives you an idea of what you might be looking for. I'm not going to keep that up long. You can pause this video if you want to see that. But let's keep going through here and kind of see what else we found. Here's an example of just the difference in pictures between Donruss and Optic. Once again, that's normal. Nothing wrong with that. You know, maybe we didn't get that in 2016, but some of the other years we have seen different pictures. So that was nice to see. They're continuing with that. Here's a set that we saw last year called Raining Threes. And you'll notice that it looks considerably different. Last year was a horizontal card. That's the one here on the right with Duncan Robinson. This year's is a vertical card. It is Raining Threes. The top has a picture of someone shooting a three. The bottom is just someone dribbling, and then you see that lightning in the background. I don't know what I think about that. I mean, I do know I like it better than last year's. Last year's was hideous in my opinion, but you know what? That's all subjective, so you can decide for yourself what you think about that. I will add here one interesting factoid is that Raining Threes is not, even last year, was not new to Panini. It's something that's been in their products before. In fact, it was in the early 2010s in a product called Past and Present. So there, I pulled up two of those pictures just for fun, just so you could see those and see that there maybe is some continuity there. They are bringing an old name back and putting it here in a different product. Okay, the next point I want to make is something that probably irritates me the most out of everything in Prism and then now in Optic as well. I was hoping that they would get all the pictures fixed for all the players that were traded or signed somewhere else. The prime example I pulled up here is Caris LeVert. Obviously, I'm a Pacers fan, so you know I had to pull that one up because I'm a little biased. I could have pulled up Sabonis or you know several other people as well, but they are still using the old pictures and the old team names, which tells me this was probably printed a long time ago. Some of this chromium stuff takes a lot more time to put together than the other stuff, because you can see here, National Treasures had Caris LeVert as a Cav. So National Treasures had it right. Prism and Optic had it wrong. In my Prism video, I think I even said, hey, hopefully they'll have it fixed by Optic. I thought that was reasonable. However, it is not fixed. So that is really disappointing to me, and probably to a lot of other people that collect players that have been traded. But it is what it is. There's no fixing it. It's just the reality of what we've got. I don't have a picture here. Actually, I do have a picture of the Purple Stars. Hitman Rips, I mentioned him earlier. His box did not receive the 1 per average, which was a bummer for him. That's really an anomaly, though, because every other box I've seen does have that. So it sucks for him, but most other boxes did have that numbered to 13. And once again, that's only for first off the line. Here's a picture of the TJ Warren that I saw in another break. I think it was a platinum break. Okay. There are some redemptions apparently. I've seen 2 redemptions so far. Both of them were Kai Jones. So maybe it's just a certain, a select few players. It's hard to tell because there's only one auto for most of these boxes. A lot of them were pretty rough. Some pretty bad veteran autos. I think the best one I saw was an Isaiah Thomas Retro Series auto. But so just keep an eye out for that. There might be some redemptions. Okay, here's an interesting insert that I don't remember ever seeing before, and I did a quick search for it on ComC, and I didn't see it. And it's not the greatest picture, but there's a new insert called Light It Up, which I think looks really cool. They've got even the words are written like they're kind of the neon lighting. So especially if you get some of the hollows of that, I think it could look really cool. We have seen an insert called Light It Up before from Press Pass, but they're not the same thing at all. But I just threw that up there because I remembered it and it had a similar name. I'm going to keep going here. Here's a numbered parallel that, doesn't really do it for me, but I thought I'd include it just because it was a hit. You'll also see some of the same stuff, like, a lot of oranges. I think those are out of 199. You'll see your lime greens. You'll see your reds. So a lot of the typical Optic stuff was still there and looked about the same. So I wasn't going to take pictures of all of that stuff. Something else that we saw the return of, and I know this is a horrible picture, but some of these breakers were flying through this stuff because they don't like these products because there's a ton of cards and it takes forever to get through. But this is the case hit photon parallel. I'm not a big fan of it, but don't let that influence you. It's all subjective. If you like it, buy them. By all means, buy them. I want you to collect what you like. Okay, so now all of the LeBron inserts that I've seen in this product show him wearing the number 23, which doesn't surprise me because all of the teams were the wrong teams as well, and as far as the guys that had been traded. So that didn't really surprise me. I know people were upset about that with Prism, although let's be honest, that picture in Prism was pretty awesome. And yes, maybe it was used before, but hey, I'll give him a pass on that. I really like that picture. But that tells me that I'm guessing the base card is going to be that number 23 as well. So no new LeBron pictures. After watching 7 or 8 boxes, it seemed like the centering for Optic this year is more consistent than the centering for Prism, if that makes sense. I saw a lot of off-centered Prism cards. Maybe that was just because of the design. There are some angles here that maybe could cover up for some of that. But overall, I felt like the front centering was fairly consistent. Now, the back centering looked pretty bad, and that also is not anything new to Optic. In fact, if you opened Optic 2016 or if you've tried to grade Optic 2016, it seems like even PSA is kind of lenient on that because just so many of them were brutal on the back, not necessarily the front, on the back. So my overall assessment, and I know this was pretty quick here, but this Optic product feels pretty consistent with previous Optic years. So if you've liked it in the past, you're probably going to like it now as well. I'm not going to speak for the value on the product. I'm just speaking for the look and kind of the content and what you'll see inside. So anyway, there you have it. I hope you enjoyed that. I don't do a lot of product breakdowns, but I do try and do them for some of the products that I like. Remember, there are new episodes of the audio podcast that come out every Thursday. And thanks for watching.